How do we break away from children who are bringing all these things into our life? The children of the technological explosion where they're self-empowered. You said these kind of kids were going to come, and they're here. And I hope I'm asking for a lot of other people too. There's so many children being put in jail for being free-spirited, wanting to experiment.
Yeah, because society hasn't caught up with who they are yet.
But it put it in my what is, and that's when I was up here really flying.
Yeah.
And things happened, and the what is of the lawyers wanting money and the accusations of being a negligent parent because she got into drugs, and then the accusation of being enabling because now I want to help her out of the quicksand.
But here's the thing. You can't worry too much about those that are accusing you of something that they're not understanding. In other words, the numbers of children coming in and the numbers of children seeking their independence is putting all of that holding back of the reins into the light where they're understanding their complete lack of control. But when you believe that control of others is the answer, dialing the knobs on all of them, and what's happening is out of control, then the first order of business for most is to get into the blame game where they're trying to explain what's gone wrong. But the momentum of the freedom seekers will help them in time in this re-evolution to understand that trying to control the behavior of others is not the path to the society that they want or to the happiness that they individually want.
But I've seen a lot of pain and what apparent pain and suffering of so many that have wanted help, and it was hard to focus on a lot of other good things when this kept coming and coming.
Well, of course it is, because
I could care less how they're going to accuse me. It's that I see my daughter still reaching out, wanting help, wanting out of the system, wanting help with drug addiction. And I have a lot of sadness and pain, and I just want soothing. I understand everything. I know I sound very confident, and I am. I know, like you said, I've been at this for a long time. But when this came, I did not feel prepared for what I was going to see. It's scary and it's painful, and I don't want to feel that anymore. I want to be up here again.
All right, so you're asking for soothing, so here it comes. So even though it feels to you like something is going terribly wrong, it isn't. And even though if you felt that you had the power to change it or control it, you would. You don't have the power to change it or control it, and it's all right that you don't. We think that you are wise beyond what anyone would expect, in that you are doing the only thing that you can do, and you're wise enough to know it. You're asking for your soothing, because you understand that unless you are soothed, you don't have anything to give anybody else. But feel how, because of what's happened, oh, we love this so much, and we love giving this to you so much. You're going to get this so clearly. Because of what's been going on, the bigness of it, the importance of it, because when you really, really care about something and it's gone awry, you feel it really, really strongly. And somebody else looking at it cannot begin to understand what you feel, because it's not your baby, so to speak, no matter what the subject is. So you're in this place where finally, you're asking for the only thing that ever works for anybody anyway, because you're finally in a position where you can't control it. You would have. You've been a mother bear. You would control it. You would do anything to control circumstances that would make things better for this girl. But since you can't, since there's nothing that you can do, now you're asking the only question that we've ever wanted you to ask, which is, how can I feel better? How can I feel better? What can I do to feel better? Which means can't think about that disc, can't think about that one, can't think about that one, can't think about that one, because when you do, you know you don't feel better. When you do, you know you don't feel better. When you do, you know you don't feel better. Until finally, you're just sort of raw and open and re-evolved.
It affected every area of my life.
Asking in a stronger, clearer way than ever before. This happened to Esther when Jerry made his transition. Finally, she reached the place where she just said, I want to feel good. I don't want to figure it out. I don't want to sort it out. I don't want to plan far into the future. I just want to feel good. And we say, finally, the only thing. But what does it take? Do you really have to hit what you are calling rock bottom before you finally begin doing the only thing that works anyway, which is trying to find a way for yourself to feel better? You see, most of you don't allow yourself to feel better under these conditions because you should not dishonor somebody that means so much to you who's in trouble. How dare you be such a neglectful person that you would take your attention away from someone who's in trouble? And we say, you're not doing them any good by giving your attention to someone's in trouble, and you're not helping yourself either. So when you finally get to the place where you want soothing so much that the soothing takes precedence over everything else, now you're in the place to attend a seminar like this today, where we say there are these discs that you can choose, and choose the one that feels the best. Oh, but this one's more responsible, and this one's more in keeping with what's really going on. This one faces reality. And we say, that's not what this seminar is about. This seminar is about choosing the disc that allows you alignment with who you really are, with the very life that you want to breathe into yourself and into anyone who you hold as your object of attention. Let us just sum this up really quickly here. So what we're actually saying to you is, all of this has brought you to the place where finally you want the only thing that is really ever going to help anyone or yourself ever. And that is, you want the soothing enough that you're going to finally be willing to distract yourself from the problems enough and focus upon other things that give you the soothing. That is, in fact, why children and adults turn to drugs. They're trying to find the soothing, because in the drug there is the distraction.
But there was a lot of logistics that came to my house.
Oh, we know.
The phone calls from the police.
Oh, we know.
You know,
We know.
it's not to...
You're not trying to justify why you weren't always able to stay on that high-flying disc.
Yeah.
But you are consciously aware when you're on it and when you're not. And this is the thing that we wanted to say to our friend earlier, and to Esther and to you. Stop beating up on yourself for not always being on the disc. Stuff happens. Stuff happens.
So do we cut the cord from them completely and offer no help? Because that's what I have heard when I did attend an Al-Anon, and that didn't feel right either. To do nothing. I've done that.
So let's step back into that question a little more fully and say, is it possible for you to not think about this person who you love so much?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Depends on how desperate she's sounding on the phone.
No, but we're asking you, in the cutting of the cord, is it possible for you to not think about this person?
I would have to think about that.
You see, it's not possible for you to not
I want to love her. I want to have her in my life and enjoy her and watch her grow.
It's not possible for you to not think about her.
It's not.
But your thoughts can be controlled by what she's doing. Your thoughts can be controlled by how she's feeling. Your thoughts can be controlled by how the social worker is feeling. Your thoughts can be controlled by how the police are feeling. In other words, your thoughts can be controlled by how a lot of people are thinking about this subject, or your thoughts can be controlled by the disc that you're choosing. And what's happening is that there's so much activity around this and so much attention getting that it's hard for you to sustain any other disc than the one that's going on. So as a result, the momentum has gotten stronger, which brought you and then us to the most exciting thing that has happened to you in a long time. The problems that have been surrounding this have put you into a re-evolved desire bigger than you've ever had before, which is, I've got to find relief from this.
Or it's I've
got to find relief from this. So now your desire has catapulted into a place the likes of which it has never been. Does it mean you can just follow that desire and get right on it? Probably not. But it is in a whole new category. And then here you are at a seminar. Isn't this an interesting thing, where we're talking about these different spinning grid discs, and we are demanding that you hear us when we say you can choose the disc that you get on, but you've got to get out ahead of it. You're falling from an airplane. You're at 20,000 feet. You have no parachute. You have no choice on this subject other than to crash and burn. You have no other option. But now you've crashed and burned and 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 crashed and burned. Now you're raising your head and you're saying, but I'm still here. I'm still here, and I want something different from this. And that desire is in a stronger place than it's ever been before. So yes, the answer to your question is you will begin cutting some of those vibrational ties, not holding her away from you, cutting those vibrational ties in the sense that you're going to emphasize other ties. You're going to find other vibrations. And that's what we've been meaning when we say get out ahead of the vibration. So it might mean distracting yourself. It might mean just saying, I'm just not going to think about this anymore. It might mean finally feeling justified because you've crashed and burned and crashed and burned and crashed and burned so many times that you're finally acknowledging this isn't working. It's not working with me as a parent. It's not working with my girl as a system. It's not working for society as a system. There's got to be another way. This isn't working. I'm not going to claw and struggle and strain. It isn't working.
Yes, okay.
And I've got to, you were pleading almost in desperation, I've got to find something that does work. And so you ask for soothing from us, and we say nothing has gone wrong even when it feels like it has, because nothing's wrong with desire being born out of something. Not just your desire, but the desire of your daughter. When you hold someone as your object of attention, when you're in vibrational alignment with who you are, you have much more influence. The love for her will return when you get on that disc. It's already there. It's not gone away. You're just not going where it is. You'll begin to see her through the eyes of Source, as you've done so often, and as Source still does. You're going to renew yourself with the way Source sees the world, not just her, but you too. And not just her and you, but everything else. And you're just going to do it a little bit at a time. Not when you're problem oriented and not when you're desperate for a solution. You're just going to find it because you've asked with a fervor the likes of which you've or no one else has ever asked before. You have to be the receiver of the soothing that you're asking for. It is illogical for it to be in any other way. And because you want it so much, you're going to find a way to find it. You just come to a place where you finally say, well, this doesn't work, and 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 this doesn't work. Oh, that worked a little. Oh, that worked a little. Oh, that worked a little. I'm feeling a little better. I'm breathing a little more. The life is coming back into me. You're going to find it, you see. You can't plead for us to give it to you because we're giving it with everything that we have to give. You have to soften the vibration of your being in order to receive just a glimpse of it. And the same with your daughter, or the same with all of the daughters, the same with everyone, you see. Society is going about it in a way that will not work. But Source isn't worried about people not finding their way because Source knows that it always works. Source knows that eventually you'll come to this place of desire that is so much stronger than anything that you've ever felt before, that you will find the solution to the soothing that you're seeking because the desire is so strong, you can't not find it. And the same thing is happening for your daughter, you see. You can't not find it. But you can't go to that meeting and keep beating the drum of what she's doing wrong and keep beating the drum of what you're doing wrong. You can't go to those meetings and keep all of that active within you and find that. Those discs and those meetings are down there, you see. They're still blaming. They're still problem oriented. You've got to break loose from that.
Yes, I don't want to blame. I don't want to blame or make anybody wrong. It's just the evolution of this new age that we're in.
Well, this was a bigger question than this time has allowed.
Yes.
We're 12 minutes over the time of this segment, and thrilled to have moved into this place. The soothing that we want for you is that you're right on track with this, and that your instincts are accurate, and that it's going to be all right. And this is not the end of her experience. And while she hasn't found yet the desire that you have found, she will. And while she hasn't found the path to the soothing yet, she will. And it is our absolute promise to you that she's going to find it through you. So it's not possible for you to cut those ties, but this isn't the time for her to find it through you. You see, you got to be stable in that vibration before you can play with her, because she's got the strongest momentum going. So when you go to play with her, you end up on her disc. And that's what's happened to all of the system. The system has gone to play with troubled people for so long that they're all now on the same disc, just like those islands that we explained to Jerry years ago, you see. So it's going to take somebody like you, exactly like you, finding the relief of it. Why? To fix the system? No. To save your daughter? No. Because you've got to be there in order to feel like you are meant to feel. And we know for sure you're on the way to that on a consistent basis.